Yo, what's good? You know what they call me? They call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, they call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Right now, I want to talk to y'all about D'Angelo and Friends, the Verzuz. I really enjoyed just watching that great, talented artist just perform one more time for us because we know that D'Angelo doesn't really come out of hiding that much to entertain us all. He's more of a reclusive artist, and that's okay because everybody can't be all out in the open. And honestly, I think that him being gone just adds more to his mystique and it adds more to his intrigue. So whenever he comes through, we're all happy to see him perform. So first I want to say that D'Angelo might be the flyest brother of all time. My man came through to the Verzuz like his stimmy just hit his checking account. You know what I'm saying? Direct deposit. You know what I'm talking about. All y'all that was taking advantage of unemployment like yours truly and making sure that I'm getting my money's worth. And that's how D'Angelo looked. Like he also looked like he raided Erykah Badu's closet because my man had on the chinchilla and he had on the classic D'Angelo hat, which is what I'm rocking right now. Actually, to be honest with you, this isn't an original D'Angelo hat, but I will say that H&M makes a pretty good facsimile. Feel me, feel me, feel me. To get back to the battle, it wasn't so much a battle because it was just D'Angelo and Friends, and it wasn't really that many friends. It was just DJ Scratch and a couple other guests. Let's get to the first guest that he had. So I was so surprised when he brought Method Man and Redman out to perform Left and Right, and also Method Man's song Breakups to Makeups. I was so surprised that he brought both of them out. Like, as we know, Method Man and Redman, they never really stopped being active since the 90s when they got on and thinking about How High, and also I love them on the Jamie Foxx show. So if you haven't seen that episode with Meth and Red on Jamie Foxx, you gotta go check that out. It's about 20 years old, but trust me, it's worth it. I really love their presence a lot. I love how Meth emphasized that we gotta give D'Angelo his flowers because it's important to give people their flowers while they can still smell them. So I'm glad that he was able to do that. But then I really wasn't prepared for when Her jumped on the scene. Let me just say that Her is one of the most beautiful on the inside and out people that I've ever seen. And her lyrics, her spoken word poetry style, she is clearly a disciple of Lauryn Hill, and I really appreciate that she was able to collaborate with D'Angelo, first performing The Best Part with Daniel Caesar, which is a classic record, and it's only a few years old. And then her and D'Angelo doing Nothing Even Matters, and like I said, she's a Lauryn Hill disciple, so it was just perfect. The only thing that would have been better than her and D'Angelo doing Nothing Even Matters is if Lauryn Hill and D'Angelo did Nothing Even Matters. But regardless, it was still a great performance, and I really think that these two should go on tour together and do a whole album because Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars, that's one great collaborative effort that I got to look forward to. I want to look forward to more, so I'm going to speak it into existence. I need that D'Angelo and Her album ASAP, so whoever's in charge of that, get on it. I really like how D'Angelo paid tribute to Fred Hampton by performing 1,000 Deaths, which features some iconic words from civil rights activists, and I really like how he tied that in to Judas and the Black Messiah. So it was almost like a match made in heaven that 2014 rolls around and D'Angelo drops an album called Black Messiah. Then fast forward 7 years later, and there's a movie that comes out about Fred Hampton called Judas and the Black Messiah. So it was just perfect. I really appreciated that. Did anybody peep when D'Angelo played The World Is Yours by Nas on the piano? That was really dope. But then he also played Shook Ones by Mobb Deep, and he said, "Rest in peace, Prodigy." So I really like how he showed that I have even though I'm a singer and a vocalist and I do all kinds of music, that I have a hip hop soul. So I really appreciated D'Angelo for paying tribute to both Nas, who's still with us, and Prodigy, who is no longer with us. Clearly, D'Angelo was impacted by Jay Dilla and Q-Tip and probably Common and other rappers that were around that helped him to make his music, or not to make his music necessarily, but to give him that creative vision. Because when you listen to Devil's Pie and you listen to Brown Sugar, the way he's flowing over those beats, that's really a hip hop style right there. So I like how D'Angelo can just be a jack of all trades. Also, I really appreciated how D'Angelo recognized his black female fan base by shouting out Black Girl Magic repeatedly. I really think that was intentional because he knows who his fan base is. So thank you, D'Angelo, for recognizing Black Girl Magic. While I was preparing for this video, I saw that D'Angelo is someone who has taken from artists like Stevie Wonder, Sly and the Family Stone, and Al Green. One thing that caught me was when Saul Williams described D'Angelo as being Bobby McFerrin on opium. And I really appreciated that description because that really is what he is. He makes all of these different noises with his vocal cords, and I can't always figure out what he's saying because he stacks his vocals. It's a vocal collaging, if you will, but I just really like that he does that. It almost adds more to his mystique that we can't quite make out what he's saying, because I'll be honest, there are some Michael Jackson songs and some Prince songs where I don't know what these brothers are saying, but the groove is so good and their voices are such instruments that it doesn't even matter. Clearly, D'Angelo was inspired by Prince. I mentioned Sly and the Family Stone, I mentioned Al Green, I mentioned Stevie Wonder, but Prince just heavily influenced D'Angelo. That's why D'Angelo plays so many different instruments on his albums, just like Prince did, and he does so much manipulation with his voice, and that was just like Prince. So I appreciate that he keeps that tradition going, and he has inspired artists like BJ the Chicago Kid, Frank Ocean, and many more. I mean, D'Angelo's contribution to the culture is invaluable, and I'm so glad that he got to have his moment in the sun by himself with a couple of friends on hand. And I like that he performed at the Apollo Theater, where he once performed back in the day, and he won 3 straight competitions at like 17, 16 years old. So the man is a boy wonder. Also, one more thing, if y'all didn't know, the song You Will Know, he co-wrote and produced it by Black Men United. That featured, like, it was D'Angelo, Gerald Levert, Boyz II Men, Brian McKnight, Usher. Everybody was on that song. You Will Know. Jason's Lyrics soundtrack. You really need to listen to that song, co-written and co-produced by D'Angelo. So I really appreciated the verses. The only thing I would say that would make it better is if he had battled Maxwell on Valentine's Day like he was supposed to. I don't know what happened between those two artists, but that would have been a very nice battle. My money still would have been on D'Angelo to take it home, just because I think that his catalog is so diverse, and he can go to hip hop, he can go to neo soul, and he can go R&B, and he can just go all around. And I think his work just hits harder just because of that hip hop element, whereas I feel like Maxwell stayed more in the grown and sexy vibe, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel like D'Angelo would be able to hit more targets with his music if they were battling each other. I think he has a little bit more versatility, but I'm sure somebody will be like, no, you tripping, Maxwell got it. So I want to hear what you got to say about it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching me and supporting me. And this has been another vlog with your boy Devin Zoolander. But wait, what do they call me? They call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, they call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I look good on camera. All right, that's all I got. Stay moisturized and mind your business. That's right, just mind your business. All right? Yeah. Peace. This way.